Und damit herzlich willkommen zurück zu The Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. In der letzten Aufnahmesession haben wir den zweiten Fall weitergespielt, The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro. Quasi der Sequel-Fall zu dem Fall mit Soseki Natsume im ersten Spiel, The Adventures of the Clouded Kokoro. Soseki Natsume ist 2 Tage nach seinem Freispruch wieder angeklagt, seinen Nachbarn vergiftet zu haben, William Shakespeare, nachdem sie sich getroffen haben, über Romeo und Julia diskutiert haben und schließlich herausfinden wollten, wer stärker ist, Romeo oder Julia. Und Spoiler, Natsume hat als Julia gewonnen und später soll er ihn dann auch vergiftet haben durch eine Teetasse. Aber im letzten Part haben wir herausgefunden, dass der Shakespeare, der übrigens auch noch lebt, eigentlich ein ganz mieser kleiner Betrüger ist. Denn er hat in Seifenstücken, hat er mit Wasser, hat er draußen Münzen gefrieren lassen, die so groß waren wie so eine 3-Pence-Münze. Und damit hat er dann seine Heizkosten bezahlt. Und wir haben halt herausgefunden, dass er ein kleiner Heizkostenbetrüger ist, was an sich schon schlimm genug ist. Aber wir haben auch herausgefunden, dass die letzten Münzen, die er damit hergestellt hat, tatsächlich nicht mit Wasser hergestellt wurden, weil die Pumpe draußen gefroren war, weil es Winter ist, sondern aus Soseki Natsumes Tee, den er mitgebracht hat. Und jetzt wurde die Polizei beauftragt, herauszufinden, ob in diesem Tee, der ja jetzt noch vorhanden ist, der ja durch dieses Einfrieren jetzt noch vorhanden ist, ob in diesem Tee tatsächlich Gift drin war. Und wenn nein, haben wir, denke ich, eine sehr, sehr große Chance darauf, dass wir unseren Natsume freikriegen. Was sowieso klar ist, weil der Fall spielt in der Vergangenheit und in der Zukunft, haben wir schon gesehen, beziehungsweise in der Gegenwart, Soseki Natsume ist ohne Schaden zurück nach Japan gekehrt und ist da jetzt ein erfolgreicher Autor. Deswegen, denke ich mal, kriegen wir ihn freigesprochen, aber wie das Ganze aussieht, werden wir jetzt in den verbleibenden Stunden dieses Falls herausfinden. Wir sind jetzt bei Episode 2, The Memoirs of the Clouded Kokoro Investigation Part 3 und ich würde sagen, einfach mal, let's go! Ach so! Ja klar ist das da noch leer. Lol, ich habe mich gerade gewundert, warum das da noch leer ist. Aber das ist ja 2 Tage, nachdem Sherlock Holmes uns das überhaupt geschenkt hat, diesen Raum. Natürlich ist das da noch leer. Moin, moin, Tom. 22nd February, 1:11 p.m., Naruhodo's Legal Consultancy. Phew, we made it back in one piece. Just. To be perfectly honest, I thought we were finished there for a while. Oh, I know. What a lot of close shaves. There are so many carriages on the streets of London. You were very nearly flattened several times. Oh, no, I didn't mean that. Yes, I know. It was a marvelous defense, Naruto-san. It really was. I was in awe of you. Oh, thank you. And now that your fervent exploits have won us some more precious investigation time, let's see if we can't find some new clues for court tomorrow. Yes, let's do that. Is everything alright? I suppose. I still can't quite believe it, that's all. That I'm here in England, working as a lawyer, in the Old Bailey, no less. The truth is, it shouldn't be me, should it? It should be him, standing in my shoes. Kazuma, yeah. It should be Kazuma. It was Kazuma-sama's wish that you follow him to Great Britain and work alongside him. Yes, I mean, I never had the chance to ask him exactly why, but he clearly had a plan. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him. And you're doing wonderfully, Naruhodo-san. I've no doubt that Kazuma-sama would say exactly the same if you were here with us. Thank you, Susato-san. Thank you. Converse würde ich da mal sagen. Today's trial. It was quite a shock earlier today, wasn't it? When the victim himself turned up in court and took the stand. I know. Not only that, but then finding out that he is actually a bar-faced gas thief as well. Yes, that was certainly a surprise to us all. For a while it seemed as though everyone had quite forgotten about Suseki-san poisoning the tea. Careful of your phrasing, Susato-san. He didn't poison anything. And there's more to this Mr. Shamspear than we yet know. I'm sure of it. Yeah, Mr. Shamspear is more like Mr. Susspear, yeah? Mr. Shamspear certainly wasn't the noble, upstanding man everyone thought he was at first. What's become of him, actually? I was told that he'd be returning to the hospital ward where he was receiving treatment. Oh, which one is that? Let me see. Ah, yes, he's at St. Bartholomew's. Or Bart's, as Londoners call it. We know that place, don't we? Ja, da war die Miss Green. Yes, we visited Miss Green there yesterday. It's the same hospital to which she was staying. Ah yes, after Suseki-san stabbed her in the back. Do be careful of your phrasing, Naruto-san. He didn't stab anyone. Perhaps we both owe Suseki-san an apology. St. Bartholomew's. Yes, we should probably visit the hospital later. What next? So, we know that Suseki-san took tea to the victim on the night in question. But as he isn't the culprit, then obviously... Yes, the poison surely wasn't in the tea. But if that's the case, how on earth did the poison get into Mr. Shamspear's body? I'm sure we'll find a clue at the scene. There must be something in Mr. Shamspear's room that will help solve the mystery. Well, naturally, Scotland Yard detectives have been over the place already. But it couldn't hurt for us to have another look around, I think. Definitely. And I'm desperate to know the outcome of the investigation to the tea left in the bar of soap. Well, if we run into Inspector Gregson, we could ask him about that. So, warte, bevor wir jetzt das letzte fragen, möchte ich nochmal was gucken hier. Nämlich der Spade hier, der Spaten, ob da wieder der Gag kommt. Perhaps we should put the spade away somewhere. That's not a spade, Naruto-san. It's a shovel. No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade. No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? You're so right, Naruto-san. We mustn't quarrel over such trifles. On reflection then, I think I'll leave the spade where it is. Yes, I think that's for the best. We may need a shovel when we're working in the garden. Warte, sie haben Garden? Okay, und die Leiter kann man leider nicht. Schade. Schade. Also Spade, ne, ist funny. Das ist halt 100 Pro an das an den Trittleiterstreit angelehnt. Aber ich würde ja gern noch eine Shovel, eine Stepladder sehen, eine Trittleiter. I heard that there's another room behind that door. Yes, it's my bedroom, Naruto-san, as you well know. Shall I help you unpack your things? That's very kind, but no thank you. Your luggage looked very heavy. Are you sure I can't help you move it? That's very kind, but really, no thank you. A young maiden's private chamber is a place of bittersweet secrets, you know? The only secret I have is a 5 yen banknote hidden on the back side of my Daruma doll. Well. Das hier ist ein Aquarium. These tanks are for keeping sea creatures. They are called aquariums and they were all the rage in London at one time apparently. Yes, the English are so clever, coming up with the idea of having ocean life on display in the home. And it means you always have an emergency midnight feast on hand too. Bitte was? Mitternachtssnack, ja. I'm not sure that's really the idea. Ja, nee. Also Fisch esse ich zwar schon, hier und da mal, aber um Mitternacht kann ich mir bessere Sachen vorstellen. Tatsächlich. Okay, Converse. Kazuma's Wishes. Kazuma Asogi, the best friend I ever had, and a lawyer with such promise. He really saved my bacon, that horrible incident that just before we left Japan. He saved my bacon. I can still picture him now, looking so fierce and determined in court. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. Das war das Thumbnail von dem dritten Part oder von dem zweiten Part sogar. Ich weiß es gar nicht mehr, aber schon sehr lange her, wenn ihr das hier seht. Für mich noch nicht ganz so lange her, weil ist jetzt der 26. August, wenn ich das aufnehme. Aber ihr werdet das hier erst irgendwann im Winter sehen. I'm sure of it, weil ich habe gestern, kurzer Ausschwenk, ne? Aber ich habe gestern The Great Ace Attorney Adventures zu Ende geschnitten und habe dann mal so geguckt. Und das wird bis zum 6. Oktober gehen, lass mich lügen. Auf jeden Fall wird es bis in den Oktober reingehen. Dann kommen noch die Escapades. Ihr werdet das hier nicht vor November sehen. Vielleicht sogar erst Anfang Dezember. I don't know. Aber ja, schon sehr lange her dieses Bild für euch. And then after the trial, that crazy idea he came up with. Wenn das hier überhaupt jemand sieht. As a stowaway. Yes, you can fit inside my trunk if you curl up small enough, I'm sure. No one will know. Kazuma, won't you tell me why? Why go to these lengths so that I can accompany you to Great Britain? Well, it's been on my mind ever since we got through the trial, that you really ought to go into law, be a defense lawyer. You've got a natural talent for it, believe me, I guarantee it. But I've never even thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, I can't force you obviously, you'll have to decide for yourself. But anyway, London is the cultural capital of the world, the city at the forefront of everything. It can't hurt for you to see it with your own eyes. No, that's true. I suppose though, if you were to become a lawyer, then one day... One day what? Oh no. Never mind. Kazuma hatte ja auch irgendeine Special Mission in Japan, die wir in Großbritannien, von der wir immer noch nichts wissen. Und da war ja auch auf diesen Government Secrets auf dieser Disc drauf. Naruto-san. Oh, sorry, I was just thinking about Kazuma. Yes, he's forever in my thoughts too. To change the Japanese judicial system for the better. That was his dream. And that's why you so desperately wanted to come to Great Britain to study, of course. Yes, that's right. But... Yes? I do wonder if his true intentions lay elsewhere sometimes. I don't know. The thought just takes hold of me every now and then, that's all. Okay, ja. Irgendwas, Kazuma muss noch ein Geheimnis haben, das wir erfahren werden. Ich bin gespannt. Kazumas true intentions. Naruhodo-san, what do you mean by Kazuma-sama's true intentions? I mean, this. Ja, stimmt, das Schwert. Bisschen sloppy animiert hier, 5 € für den Grafiker, aber ja. His katana. I never expected to inherit this sword after Kazuma passed away, of course. No, I know. It was because I asked you to take it. When I have it at my side in court, I feel as though it gives me courage. Yes. Actually, the night before he died, he told me a little about the sword. Okay. Karuma. That's right, it's a prized sword that's been passed down through generations of the Asogi clan. A Japanese man's sword is a soul, Ryonosuke. I can't be parted from my katana. Karuma guides me. I truly believe that. Ja, stimmt. Karuma, der Name wurde schon mal erwähnt, glaube ich. So its name complies its wielder to slice evil in two. Not that you would need much compelling. On that subject, there's something very important that I have to do in Great Britain. Something you have to do. Yes. I'd appreciate you seeing it through with me. Of course I will. Whatever it is, I'll see it through to the end with you. I knew you wouldn't let me down. What did he mean by something very important that I have to do? I had hoped that the answer to that question would become apparent when we arrived here, but as yet, I've not found a single clue. I see. Something... Oh, nein! Ah, scheiße, ich wollte... Entschuldigung. Ich wollte... Ich hab da aus Versehen wieder rauf gedrückt. Klicken wir uns schnell durch. Blub, the night before he died. Gott, dann kann ich kurz was trinken. Japanese Man's Sword, ja. Ja, cool, Kazuma. Dankeschön. Something important. Das hat was mit Karuma zu tun, mit dem Schwert? Karuma für Kazuma. Kazumas Karuma. Okay. Move. Denke ich dann mal. My lodgings and office, located in the attic above the suite of rooms rented by Mr. Sholmes. I call it a consultancy, but clients aren't exactly beating down the door. Our new office. I wonder what exciting adventures await us. Yes. Mama in Sholmes' suite. February 22nd, Sholmes' suite. Oh, Rino and Susie! Hooray, you're back! Hello, Iris. You're in fine spirits as always, I see. I am, and you look as immaculately presented as ever, Susie. Was heißt immaculately? Immaculately. Einwandfrei. Okay, makellos. Oh, you flatter me. Well, you couldn't have come at a better time. I've just made a pot of tea. I set some cups. Really? Thanks, Iris. But actually, what is that foul smell? Aha! The wonder was returned at last. Where on earth have the pair of you been? We've been in court? Oh, for Mr. Moustache's case. What? That was today, was it? I'm sure I mentioned it only yesterday, Mr. Sholmes. I'm sure you think you did. Well, we can laugh about it now. So tell me, how did the trial go? Reasonably well so far. We've managed to escape without a guilty verdict at least. Really, I would have liked to see it. And I must pass the time of day with Mr. Reaper again. It's been too long. Is Lord Van Zieks an acquaintance, Mr. Sholmes? Naturally. There's not a person in the world who doesn't know my name, Mr. Naruhodo. Not quite what I asked, but still. Mr. Sholmes, whatever is that odor? Yes, what is it? It's faint, but absolutely awful. Ah, indeed, that's the scent of victory, my dear fellows. Victory in science. Oh dear. Alright, I'll bite. What's he up to now? Ein Sieg für die Wissenschaft. Converse. Lord Van Zieks erstmal. Lord Baroque Van Zieks. Yes, it's an interesting sobriquet he has, isn't it? The Reaper of the Bailey. Sobriquet, ist das ein Spitzname oder sowas? Spitzname, tatsächlich. Once a legendary prosecutor has fought for someone's conviction, that person is doomed. Even if he or she is found not guilty by the courts, sooner or later, the hapless soul will vanish from the capital. But vanish how exactly? By falling on a passing carriage, or drowning in the Thames, or succumbing to a sudden fever, or, quite out of the blue, being set upon a highwayman. Set upon by a highwayman. Was war Highwayman nochmal? Ich wusste, eine Gruppe bei Walking Dead hieß mal Highwayman. Aber... Highwayman. Straßenräuber. Okay. Macht ja irgendwo auch Sinn, ne? Highwayman, weil die auf dem Highway dann wahrscheinlich sind. There are numerous routes to one's final terminus, my dear fellow. It all seems a little far-fetched, really. Well, on the bright side, Mr. Moustache is fighting fit. For the time being, at least. That's not overly reassuring. If the rumors are true, though, the obvious conclusion would surely be that those acquitted are, well, by Lord Van Ziek's own hand. As it happens, Mr. Sato, that is quite possible. Oh, why? Naturally, the man very quickly came under such suspicion. However, whenever these incidents occurred, the Reaper always had a cast iron alibi. Wissen wir eigentlich, wer McGilded getötet hat? Auch nicht, ne? Wir wissen nur, dass er in Flammen aufgegangen ist. Also könnte er es auch gewesen sein. Really? And so his reign continued, but 5 years ago, he vanished from the courts, never to appear as a prosecutor again. That is, until you arrived in the country, Mr. Naruhodo. Yes, so I've heard. In fact, it was the very day I arrived when I was thrust into the trial at the Old Bailey. That bitter fight to the death coincided with the Reaper's resurrection. And really did end bitterly indeed. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Wenn man mal so drüber nachdenkt, ne? Das wirkt schon irgendwie, als ob es ein Setup war oder so. Weil wir sind angekommen hier und wurden gleich von dem Lord Strongheart, von dem Justice Minister, in Gerichtsfall geworfen, wo ein Staatsanwalt ist, der seit 5 Jahren nicht mehr aufgetreten ist. So, das wirkt doch wie ein Setup, wenn man so drüber nachdenkt. I don't know. Vielleicht werden wir es herausfinden, was es damit auf sich hat. Ich weiß es nicht. Vielleicht, ich habe so viele Fragen, die in diesem Spiel noch geklärt werden müssen. Ich habe es letzte Aufnahmesession schon gesagt, aber es ist ja einfach so. And here you are, facing Mr. Reaper again. Poor Runo, I don't know if you're just incredibly unlucky. Or incredibly unlikable. Iris. I think it goes deeper than just me. I sense a general loathing of all Japanese people. Japanese people. With Mr. Natsume, who I'm currently defending, being Japanese as well as Mr. Sato and myself. I felt it even more keenly in court today. For some reason, Lord Van Ziek seems to have an inherent disdain of the Japanese. Indeed, it is an interesting observation. Do you know something about it? Do you, Mr. Jones? It was about 10 years ago that Baroque Van Ziek chose to enter the legal profession. However, before that time, the young man's closest companion hailed from the Empire of Japan. Okay, interesting. No! What the? Tell us more, Mr. Jones. What happened? I believe I've made it clear before. I'm unable to tell you anything about the affair. Oh, but... Okay, sein Companion... Also er hat einen japanischen Kumpel. The veil will be lifted on the events of the past in due course, I have no doubt. For now, however, it is Mr. Moustache who is most deserving of your attention, I believe. Danke, Herlock, für das Foreshadowing. Okay. Dann nehmen wir uns mal dem faulen Gestank an. So, what is that indescribably foul smell? Ah, well, most probably this, I would say. What is that? My dear fellow, it is, of course, my latest invention. A chemical test that can identify whether or not a tea is genuine at the drop of some tea. Oh my! Okay, also ein Teetest quasi. There are some unscrupulous sorts manning the stores along some of London's less frequented streets. They regularly sell what purports to be high-quality tea, but is in fact merely dyed leaves of drab flavor. Well, that's certainly unsavory behavior. So, when one is presented with what appears to be black tea, one must be careful. Iris. At the ready, Hurley. Let us add a drop of my chemical to this cup of tea here. Do you see what happens? Wird schwarz. It turned completely black. And what a foul odor it's giving off. Indeed, the blacker the tea becomes, and the more foul the odor, the better the tea is. Ich glaube, dadurch machst du ihn aber schlecht, Herlock. It would appear that this cup was a particularly fine Darjeeling. That's very ingenious. But what do you do with black liquid? With that black liquid now? Ingenious? Genial, okay. Kommt ja von Genius. Why? Dispose of it naturally. Surely you wouldn't like to drink it, would you? Aber was ist dann der Sinn? There does seem to be a rather obvious problem with your new invention, Mr. Sholmes. Hence why this chemical test is merely a test, my dear madam. Right. The point is, we are entering a new era of science. In the world of criminal investigation also. Yes, forensic science. Oh, these are such exciting times. I regularly engage in the scientific experimentation alongside my unofficial consulting detective work. The Sherlock-Holmes method will be the foundation upon which modern investigative technique is based. This little tea indicant was a happy byproduct of my ongoing forensic science research. Forensic science? I suppose I should find out more about that. Forensic science. So, your t-test, is that an example of forensic science? Indeed it is. An essential tool in cases that hinge on the knowledge of whether some tea is of high or inferior quality. Not a huge number of cases then. Perhaps a more practical example is required. Fingerprints? Ja, Fingerabdrücke. Fingerabdrücke würden unser Leben so häufig vereinfachen hier in The Great Ace Attorney. Also wirklich. Not yet exactly in our course as evidence, I might add. Really, we are dragging our heels here. I hadn't even heard of them until recently. Which is partly why I undertake research in this field myself, of course. Does it mean you're studying fingerprints, Mr. Sholmes? There are others in that field already, and I abhor the company of inferior minds. No, what I'm researching is skin prints. Hautabdrücke? Bitte was? Skin prints? A nomenclature of my own design, as is this chemical agent that makes it possible. It instantly reveals objects touched by whichever person is under investigation. Brilliant, Mr. Sholmes. As long as it doesn't turn everything completely odorous and black. I assure you, my dear fellows, you will witness my forensic talents in action very soon indeed. Well, I think we should go back to the scene and see if we can uncover any new clues. That's the spirit, you know. See you later. Yes, until later. No, Mr. Sholmes, we are thinking you'd come with us. You were? Yes, of course. You said so just a moment ago. You said we'd witnessed your forensic talents in action. Ah, yes, I do recall saying something along those lines. But you go on ahead. I shall be sure to follow you later. In all likelihood. Probably. Maybe. Well, I might. Your commitment astounds me. Oh, thank you, Mr. Shums. We'll eagerly await your arrival. Bye-bye, Uno. Bye, Susie. Okay.